valuing wokeness and identity politics over the principle of placating your consumer base. I wonder where that might lead. Oh yeah, cancellation. Cancellation indeed. So hey there. So today I want to return to that wonderful world of trash fires. And there's no trash fire quite like the trash fire we've seen consuming Batwoman recently. I mean, when this show came out, we talked about it briefly. And we talked about it as it made misstep after misstep after misstep on a road that, well, it leads to cancellation. Now this is coming from an article out of Bounding Into Comics. We're going to look over that in just a minute. But before we do, if you like this kind of content, make sure you're subbed to the channel. Enjoy these types of videos? Well, share them with others, because you know what? Sharing is indeed caring. If you love That Umbrella Guy and would like to go further, helping out the channel in some different way, well, we have everything from a join button to merchandising to the Case of the Littlest Umbrella. Now, the Case of the Littlest Umbrella, it closes at the end of November, and that's our message to gatekeepers out there. It doesn't have any message inside of it but fun, but it existing, it does send a message. We can defy you. We can go out and create our own thing. And well, looking at the landscape out there, looking at the failures like Batwoman, apparently more people need to do this and say, hey, this is the example that needs to be seen. Now, this article coming out of Bounding Into Comics is a cautionary tale if I've ever seen one. More places should listen to stuff like this too. So, if you're making a show, you actually want to go in and you want to insert something like, I don't know, identity, for example. Make sure that the show wheels out first. So rumor, Batwoman's declining ratings could lead to cancellation. Batwoman, CW Arrowverse action drama featuring the first leading, what do we have here? Oh yeah, identity spotlighted superhero has struggled in the ratings since it premiered at the beginning of October. It suffered a 35% decline in viewership during the first 3 weeks and attracted only 1.16 million live viewers with the last episode. That tells you that people, they don't want to see this. They don't care about your show. You're not attracting the normie audience. You do have people that watch the cringe. You have some people that might pick up from a certain demographic, but what you need is a wide array. You want to cast that wide net. You got to catch them all. That's a good lesson. You got to catch them all. But continuing, unable to draw a loyal audience, the show is rumored to be circling the drain of cancellation, say sources, quote unquote, in the know, and close to, we got this covered. Batwoman, according to the source, could soon be axed, but executives may still give it a full season or even one more to right the ship. Now that is a very interesting statement. They're going to have that much time to right the ship. A lot of times when you go in, if you got a bat attached to it, if you can't make a bat show work, then you probably have issues well beyond anything that you're understanding there. That's what executives need to understand as well. This franchise, again, something that spins out of a Batverse, it should be able to sell itself. Continuing, Batwoman's been criticized for its woke politics and feminist overtone since it debuted. The casting of Ruby Rose also came under criticism, causing the actress to quit Twitter. A number of individuals complained Rose was not Jewish, with some even stating they did not believe she was a lesbian. Now, what's amazing about that is we still hear about toxic fandom running her off. The same people that would point a finger at me for saying this kind of stuff about this show. And yet, I wasn't out there criticizing the person's identity. I wasn't saying that they were a fake, this or that. That was the identity crowd, because she wasn't pure enough. Isn't that amazing? Not pure enough, therefore. Continuing, Rose was shocked by the backlash which came suddenly when she auditioned for Batwoman. Identifying as quote-unquote gender fluid, as Rose does, made her less of a woman in the eyes of critics. She opened up to Entertainment Weekly back in June. When I got cast as a lesbian in Batwoman, I didn't know that being a gender-fluid woman meant that I couldn't be a lesbian because I'm not a woman, not considered lesbian enough. That's true, though. Right now, you have to be that thing. That's what we're being told. Otherwise, you're going to face a firestorm of criticism. That's going to be the problem when you're talking about any type of identity out there. And it's also going to be the problem when you're talking about ethnicities and on. You weren't Jewish enough. You weren't lesbian enough. I mean, can you imagine that? You have to go in and you have to portray unless, and that unless, of course, is if you meet specific demographics, then it's okay to come in with that thing that they call erasure. But continuing on, when the time came to tabulate critical reactions on Rotten Tomatoes, users tanked the audience score to a rock-bottom 11%. They lambasted the show for its writing, identity politics, and deliberately bad presentation. And yes, it was bad. To tell you how bad, we even went in and changed up the origin story to make sure that it would be politically correct enough. Not because of relevance, but because we had a certain type of ist, apparently you can insult these days, terrorist. I mean, can you imagine that? We've gotten to the point where you can't have someone harmed by terrorists. Otherwise, oh my God, you're some type of ist yourself. Now, as far as Rotten Tomatoes scores are concerned, a few things to keep in mind. Number one, yes, you can indeed have review bombing, but still, when you look at this, it's still very bad. I mean, if you're talking about audience score, for example, a 12%, that means 12% of audiences rated at 3.5 or higher. Everyone else said, yeah, it's some other iteration of lowly. I don't really want to see that. Now, if you consider that score, it's 6% lower than one of those lambasted movies everyone loves making fun of, Another Woman, Catwoman. That's right, Halle Berry actually scored 6% higher, and that movie is universally mocked. It tells you something, too. That movie at least has some redemptive qualities. You can at least laugh at portions of it. This, it's just universally bad. Now, another astounding feature of this is the 73% meter when it comes to critical rating, because normally with something that's giving these identity markers, you would be talking about 96, 98%. But oh no, not for this show. When you go in and you look at it too, it's kind of interesting what kind of criticisms you have here. You have a criticism, for example, about the director being to comic book superheroes what a certain president is to tweeting. They just can't stop themselves. They were saying that this is too by the numbers, that this is kind of cookie cutter here. And that's amazing to see, considering, again, what they try to sell this with. They tried to shirk on certain points that you should have, like storyline, and apparently identity doesn't even sell to critics anymore. They're getting to the point where some of them actually want to show as well. Here's another one. Rose cuts a striking figure, but she's unfortunately on the wooden side when it comes to acting. The show feels heavy too, a common trait of anything occurring in the glum Batman universe. Batwoman is ultimately painful to watch and a struggle to get through, lacking finesse, emotional depth, and a sense of direction. Like I said, these are critics speaking on it, and normally they're going to sound like every other critic out here when you have something like this. The best part of the new series is that unfussy, effortless way of getting Kate's orientation out of the way, and also Kate herself. Again, that used to be the thing that would sell these type of shows, but after a while, even certain critics are saying, yeah, I've seen that. What more do you have for me? When you go to the audience scores, too, I mean, it is an absolute mess. I'll just take some shots here and show you in clumps because people are tired of this. I mean, you're talking about a show that is absolutely lambasted because, hey, the writing, it's terrible. The show is absolute garbage. Don't strain your eyes for it. Poor writing meets poor acting. I mean, all of these things, they come together. And, well, yeah, you get a show that needs to be canceled and probably will be. But anyway, you tell me what you think about this. Have you watched that show? What do you think? Do you think it'll actually get another season? So I want to end this by saying thank you. I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you empowering these endeavors. These folks, you get a great example of them forgetting who empowers something, that being you. They think just creating something and, well, adding in certain things that please them and placate them, that's enough. And it's not. You actually have to remember the people it's for, too. So again, thank you. I appreciate you. If you like this kind of stuff, you know that drill by now. Also, check out the links. They definitely help out. And check out our comic book. It's ending really soon, and it does send a message. It sends a message to the companies out there that create this kind of trash in book form. It says we can defy you. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate you, and we'll do this again soon. Thanks.